be giving you some tips on how to grow your businesses. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Samit Patel. People refer to me as the product launch Sifu. So Sifu is master. It was something that was given to me whilst I was traveling about in Asia. People would go to me, Sifu, Sifu, and I was like, what is Sifu? I remember, I think it was Kung Fu Panda, and I think one of the characters' names was Sifu. So I was like, are you calling me this furry rabbit? And they're like, no, it means master. So that's, so now I've taken that on board and I call myself the product launch Sifu. So what is a launch all about? So if you think about businesses, generally a launch is quite slow. Imagine if you were going to launch a business. You'd probably say you're going to sell a mobile phone. You'd tell your friends and family and you'd get a couple of sales, that's correct. But you wouldn't get that pipeline. And the whole point of building up a product launch system is around generating huge amounts of sales. Not just one sale, not just two sales, but creating a huge amount of sales. So if we take a typical product launch system, what we're doing is, this is what your day one looks like, right? Day one, you probably get a couple of sales. That's 5, 10, 100. You probably get maybe a couple of sales because you've got a couple of friends who are interested in buying and going to support you. What's going to happen the second day? Are you still going to get a bunch of sales, or are the people that you've reached out to not going to bother? So now this is the long slog period. You're going to be hustling, you're going to be spending on ads, you're going to be doing all sorts of things to try and get that one sale. And maybe you get a sale here, maybe you generate 10 sales here, or maybe you get one random one here, and so on. But if we look at creating a product launch system, the product launch system is all about building up a community even before you launch. So think about it. If you do a build-up process, and you don't even need to quit your job. A lot of experts out there, they say, hey, forget your 9-to-5 job, or forget it. You need to be hustling. You need to sell your mum, your dad, your grandma. Sell everything that's in your house, do whatever. And these experts are great. They're great at what they teach. But there's also a big flaw in that. Not everyone can give up their lives. People have mortgages to pay. People have children to pay for. To get through education, it costs nearly $1,000 per child. So you can't get up and leave all these things. But for those of you who have entrepreneurial spirit or people that are motivated to make money, this is a way to do it alongside what you're already doing. So imagine this. You're already working your 9-to-5 job. You're making some money and you've got some business ideas. What would it cost you to set up some of these businesses? Surely it's very little in comparison to quitting your job. If you have a job that pays you around $2,000 per month, you can afford to maybe spend around $200, $300, or even half of that, depending on what your outgoings are. You can actually hire the talent. So you can use freelancing websites like Upwork. You can hire people to actually do the work for you. You can also invest in the marketing. A lot of the reasons why businesses actually fail is because a lack of marketing, right? So this is really important. If you've got the finances and you've got the money to spend, then you've already increased your chance of success. So now let's do the flip side. Imagine if you decided to quit your job tomorrow. What's going to happen? You're going to have a little bit of savings. You're not going to be able to do everything. You're going to get stressed out. Your beard's going to go grey. My beard has been going grey, and this is what comes with business. It's not straightforward. You can't just launch a business and start making money. It's about pushing yourself and doing the right things. Cameron, can you just check one thing for me and check? I want to check whether this is shared. Grey beard. So business has a lot of stress behind it, everyone's out there saying quit your day jobs, but if you end up losing $2,000 a month that you're earning, that's going to put a lot of stress on your head, right? So the smarter way of doing it is keep your day job and then invest that money and put it into hiring freelancers that can help build up your business. Imagine you were still earning your money, you're getting revenue, which traditional businesses can't generate if you start up. That's the number one killing reason of a business. They just can't generate enough revenue to keep up with the overheads. But here you're totally in control. You know exactly what you're earning and you know exactly what you can spend. So this is very straightforward stuff. Even before you have that business idea, let me suggest something to you. And this is really important. So Cameron, I want you to zoom in and focus the people into this. This is really important stuff. Imagine you were able, soon as you had the business idea, you created a landing page, started driving people to that landing page. You told your friends, your family, everyone that this is the business idea that you are planning to launch. Now, think about if you were able to spend $200, $300 on Facebook adverts or hiring people that knew about Facebook adverts. You were also setting up your Twitter, you're posting on Instagram, you're doing all the things that you hear about in marketing circles. And imagine you spent about 6 months to a year while you're in a full-time job. Do you think that's going to help you succeed? Do you think that's going to help you take your business to the next level? 100%, 100%. This is what's going to happen to your business. If you launch on day one, you're going to get super high. That's your sales on day one, you know. So if we're looking at the traditional one, you'd only have your friends and family. But here you'd have all bunch of people, especially if you validated your idea. But here's the great thing. You get a very long, nice, long tail. So every day without doing anything, you'd get a bunch of sales. And then what you can do to pump more money in, and you'd get even bigger spikes. So this is how you can have a successful launch. And this is how I have helped raise over 30 million for various products, from consumer electronics to design products to apps. So this is exactly the way you can do it. And we're going to be going a lot more detail into this over the coming weeks. So I want you to really remember this, and over the coming weeks, I'm going to help you guys get more deeper into this. So, you know, I'm going to be talking about some of the experiences that I had last year, some of the cool stuff that I did last year as well, and how I've been able to grow my business. I think the number one thing that we've been doing is being very transparent. A lot of people out there are very behind the scenes. They're not showcasing their skills, they're showcasing a part of it. But I'm here openly telling everyone, you know, how to build that business, how to scale that business. And I think that's really crucial stuff. So Cameron, I hope you're still zoomed in. So what we are doing so at the end of 2019, my goals, I literally looked at my goal sheet and I said, wow, you know what, I've hardly achieved what I wanted to achieve. Yes, I achieved the revenues, but did I do all the other things that I had? So one of the things I had to do was I wanted to launch a book. And I was just like, wow, it's nearly getting to the end of the year and I've not completed my book. A book, for any one of you that knows what you're doing, it's just mind-boggling, because I'm not naturally a teacher. So putting it into written words is the most difficult thing. So I really pushed myself at the end of 2019, and I was able to finally put the book together. But the one mistake I made as a product launch, Sifu, I didn't push enough community behind it. I didn't build up enough community behind it. Yes, I had my mailing list. My mailing list has a couple of thousand people on it, but I didn't build one up just specifically for this book. This book is the complete guide to Indiegogo marketing, and if Cameron can go into my backpack, there's a book in my backpack, and I will be able to show you a bit later on. But this book has everything about Facebook advertising and how you can use Facebook advertising specifically for an Indiegogo campaign. Yes, it can also be used for Kickstarter as well as everything else that you're doing. So these are some of the things that you can do with this great book. What I ended up doing was I ended up flipping the script a little bit. I was like, yes, I can build up email lists around this book, but opportunity came around my way. One of my good friends, Vince Tan, he said, look, we've got an event going on in Malaysia, we've got an event going on in Taiwan, do you want to come down? I said, hell yeah, I'd be down there. I go, how many people are going to be there? He was like 500 people, right? So I was like, okay, cool. I thought 500 people, I can launch my book, I can get it trending, it's going to be easy, simple stuff. Think about this, I've never launched a book before, right? So this would be my first book launch. I read up bits and bobs about it, but I wasn't really clued on about how to launch something on Amazon. There's so many intricate details around Amazon. I even ended up hiring an expert through freelancer websites, and they guided me through the process. So I was working day and night to get everything sorted. The Amazon approval process takes about a week. So every time you upload something, it takes a week. And then every time you want to change something. So while I uploaded it, there was mistakes in the book that my team had recognized. And I had just literally gone blind to it because I'd read it over so many times, I'd looked over the book so many times, and I became blind to it. So they pointed me out to this mistake, and they were like, hey man, there's mistakes here. So even the event was a couple of days away, and I'd be there furiously trying to upload this, get it working and everything, get everything in working order. And it just didn't get right. So I think that's the wrong book.
There wasn't another book.
Ah, crap. Was it not in my backpack?
Nope. Backpack's empty.
I think I must have put it in the back of the book backpack. Anyway, but yeah, I was furiously working away to get my book ready, and I ended up going on stage in front of 500 people. I delivered an amazing speech on an amazing talk on how to launch products, how to validate products, and how people can use the product launch system that I have created. And at the end of it, I was like, I didn't sell the book. I was like, hey, look, go to Amazon, do me a favor, go to Amazon and buy this book. Well, download this book, because on that one day I set a free promotion. And guess what happened? What do you guys think happened? If you guys are listening, drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys think happened. So, this is what happened, right? So in Malaysia and Taiwan, Amazon is not allowed. So I had 500 people on their mobile phones trying to download this free book, and they just couldn't download it. So all these people that were interested in the book just couldn't download it. So my launch sequence for that product went absolutely horribly wrong. And this is the thing, launch sequences can go horribly wrong. Even though you try and look at every single basis. I had never done a book launch, so this was my first book launch. It wasn't the most important book I launched. It was important for Facebook advertising, but it wasn't the main one that I want to launch. It still ended up doing really well, and people are still buying it and still talking about how great it is. But it shows even the experts can get launches wrong. The amount of times I'm sure other people in the industry, and I speak to a lot of these guys, and they constantly tell me, they launched 10 different products and one of theirs succeeded and one didn't. So you're not going to always have successes, you're also going to have a lot of failures. So that was my book story. After that, I went to a Phuket Mastermind, which was really inspirational. It was again hosted by Vince Tan. He invited me down, and I was on there with a whole host of other speakers. There's people like Steve Tan, who does e-commerce. Sebastian was there, who's a specialist in YouTube marketing. Mark Joyner, who is like the internet godfather. He created the Pixel. You had Eric Graham, who's a king of copywriting and persuasion technology. You had so many people, that were there, and I was so grateful to be up on that stage. But being in that environment, I've never been to a mastermind before, but just being surrounded by these great people, as well as the 100 people that were there in attendance, all of these people had successful businesses, and everyone was in that same mindset of growing a business, getting together, improving stuff, and really taking things to the next level. Just move it around a little bit. Otherwise, it becomes quite repetitive. This is a trick, so never keep the thing quite flat, otherwise it's quite boring. So I'm gonna move around a little bit to keep this video a bit entertaining for you and not just me talking. So, you know, there was all these entrepreneurs, people that really were at that level with all the same mindset. And it's true what they say. You got to surround yourself with the people with that right mindset. If you surround people with exactly the right mindset and people that's trying to achieve the same things you are, it's going to maximize your potential. It's going to help you achieve your dreams. It's going to help you be more of a success. I came back from, well, even at that event, I connected with so many of the speakers. I was sharing a room with Sebastian, which does YouTube, and we were just there talking, and I was telling him my goals for this year is to earn $1 million. And he goes, why are you talking just about $1 million? Why not 5x? Why not 10x? And he said, you should be thinking about 10x that, right? Get to 5 million, get to 50 million. Why aren't you talking like that? He goes, if you get to 50 million, or if you set yourself a goal of 5 million and you still end up with 1 million or 2 million, you're still achieving. Or, you know, so it's that sort of mindset. And I've always been the sort of mindset to set actual realistic goals, but I've never really set myself goals that I think are achievable, but it's also a massive jump. So this year I've gone and followed Sebastian's insights. So big shout out to Sebastian, and thank you and love you, bro. And hopefully we can do some work together. The craziest thing of this event was also there was a whole selection of people, so many different people from different walks of life. There was a girl that did energy healing, and she was really cool. Like I was about to go on stage, and I'd be sitting down and I told her I was so tired, and she started moving her hands around, and I go, wait, what are you doing? As any normal person would do, if someone just starts waving around like that. I was like, wait, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm just cleaning your aura. I'm gonna, get rid of some of the energy that's around your aura, and I'm gonna help you feel a bit more energetic. And the cool thing about this was actually she helped me clean my energy, and at the end of it I felt so alive. I was literally up on stage and I was really walking about, and I was like, whoa, yes, everyone, And it was just such a great experience with that. And it's turned me around to energy healing. I was never really into that too much, and we also got into a lot of conversations about energy stones and a whole host of other spirituality things. So again, it shows that the mindset of an entrepreneur changes. All of these people were people that were doing maybe $500,000 a year. These people were high earners, and that mindset wasn't just about money. Once they got to that level of money, it was about mindset, spirituality, how to grow themselves, how to help others. So it was all about giving, receiving, and improving their mind. I also met an amazing palm reader who read my palm. I'm not going to tell you what he said, but again, it was a mind-blowing experience. I was really not convinced by palm readers, and he read my palm and said some things which really connected. And again, I'm making these videos because I'm inspired by him. So big shout out to Casey. So that was the Phuket Mastermind. It was at the end, it was a couple of weeks in December, and I got back at Christmas. After coming back from an event like that, I know a lot of you went to Funnel Hacking Live and have just come back. Sometimes with all that information, your mind really is just blown. You're just like, what do I do with all this information? And sometimes you get into a mode where you just think things are way too big. Like, I am way in over my head right now. I think I'm a fraud. Like, you see all these people who are being a success around you, who are earning so much money, and you're then thinking to yourself, nah, I'm a fraud. I've made my business out of pure luck, and you're not actually thinking that it's down to you. You're just thinking, wow, there's too much work to do. So I came back after a couple of days. Even on the airplane, I was thinking, wow, this is so much to do. How am I going to get to this next level? And I just sat down. I took a couple of days off where I spent time with family, friends, and just de-wind, because sometimes you just need to de-wind yourself. And then on Christmas Day, I did all my eating stuff. I ate a bunch of food. And then Boxing Day, I literally I don't know what happened. I woke up and the light switched on and I went to work. I went to work on plans of what to do for this year, what to do for January, how to grow our business this year, what goals I wanted to set myself, and how to really 10x, thinking that bigger, higher level. And it was really, that event overall was a big mindset changer. It not only made me think, okay, I can do millions, but now I'm thinking, hundreds of millions and even billions. Like before, I was not motivated to go that level. I was thinking, let's make a bunch of money and then retire on a nice beach somewhere with a nice yacht and just live the world. But Mark Joyner was telling me, actually, the retirement life is an actual myth. It's not something that is good for you. He goes, a lot of people who actually retire end up actually committing suicide. This was a really key thing that he told me that really got to me actually. He said the number of soldiers that come back from serving in the war and the amount of that commit suicide is a huge portion. It's because they don't have that structure in place and they come back and they forget that sense of purpose. So, he was saying the same thing with people that retire. People that generally retire end up going out of the routine, they have no more structure left, and they just end up doing not too much. And this is why they end up committing suicide. Obviously, there's a lot more reasons too why people commit suicide, but this was actually one of the things. And that sort of resonated with me. Whenever I've been my lowest, the only way to get out of my lowest point is always pushing myself, pushing through, keep working, keep doing something to occupy myself. If you think about a breakup or think about something that happened in your life, you have a low point, but then you actually have a realization, hey, I need to get myself out of this. And sometimes the best way to do that is just keeping yourself busy. So this really connected with me, and some of these things is the reason why my mindset has changed now and why I want to achieve more. I want to create more meaning in the world. I want to inspire people. And again, when I was speaking up on stage, people would say, wow, Samit, you really inspired me. You changed my mindset. There's a really good story actually. Out in Malaysia, a lady came up to me. She was 60 years old. She told me that, Samit, the talk you gave was really inspirational. It really changed my life. And I said, I was a bit stepped back. I was like, okay, how can my talk change lives? And she goes, what you told me about opening myself up, talking to people in the room. This event had about 500 people. The day before, I went round to people and I said, hey, how many people have you spoke to? People in the room would say 5, 10 people. I go, there's 500 people in this room. Potentially these people could be the people that you sell to. They could be your investors. They could be people that you could work with. So I go, why aren't you using this opportunity? You've paid to be at this event, but you're not really using this opportunity. So it's all about making the opportunity work for you. And I went to her, I said, look, don't be scared, come out your shell, talk to people and interact with people, because this is the way that's going to help you. And that was the thing that really resonated with her. That's what she said, really helped change her life. It's something so basic and so simple, but people needed reminding. And it wasn't just that. I went round and I helped introduce them to other people. So I later on walked around with her. I was walking around and taking her to meet people. And after that, she said, I've been ever so lonely. I'm a 65-year-old woman. My mother died recently. and I've been ever so lonely ever since. And she goes, I haven't spoke to anyone for a couple of years, which is really, really just a deep moment for me. And I didn't know how to react. I still don't know how to react to that moment, because it was just crazy to think that people out there are just locking themselves up and not talking to anyone. And the only person that she had was her mother. So that was quite deep. So here are my goals for 2020. My goals are obviously creating a lot more video content, inspiring a lot more people through the visual format, telling people how to grow their businesses, how to launch businesses, and really step away from not just this entrepreneurial lifestyle. Because a lot of people out there make it sound really sexy, but they don't really, if you think about it, still, I think it's about 70% or 80% of businesses still fail. And I've got this new strategy, or it's not new, it's something that's just not preached as much. And I feel like you can really do something, you can really create good success, you can put yourself into a better standing if you keep your 9 to 5, earn some money, and still aim for the stars and run your businesses. So these are the things that I want to do this year. I want to do more speaking around the world. I want to do more podcasts. I'm starting up podcasts. Any of you that are looking to jump on a podcast, let me know. If any of you know people that are looking for people for their podcasts, then also let me know. Some of the things that I've already been doing this year is we've been working really hard on upgrading our websites. We're getting them more modernized. We're adding more levels to it, improving the graphics. Every year I think it's really vital, if you've got a business, to revitalize your website. I just think websites are changing so often. Conversions, A/B testing, all of this thing is really important, and your websites need to be updated for what your messaging is for the year. So we spent a lot of January doing that. I also spent a hell of a lot of time learning. So since I got back from the event in December, all I've been doing is learning. I bought things from Peng Jun. So I really like Peng Jun's stuff at the moment. He's really cool. Bought his stuff, his $1 million ads. It's really cool stuff. I also bought Mark Joyner's calendar, really huge calendar. I've been going through it. Pretty interesting stuff. And I've also bought Eric Graham stuff. I've also bought Billy Jean's stuff. A whole host of people's courses and materials. And this is really to help me achieve my goals for 2020. Is really to help me push to the next level. And I think it's also interesting for you guys to help push yourself. If people are verified and people are out there and knowledgeable, then I wouldn't be too scared about connecting with the right people and using the right knowledge that's out there. I've also been trying a bit of crypto trading, as well as pushing on with dropshipping as well, because these are some of the aims for this year. It's not just to have one egg, it's to have many eggs and to actually navigate my risks. At the moment I've got a couple of businesses, but I want to open up more businesses, as well as double down on what is bringing me the most money, which is my agency. So these are some of the stuff that have been interesting and what I'm up to. We're going to be going into a lot more detail about everything from week to week. I wanted to give you guys overall breakdown, so you can obviously learn about what I've been up to, and hopefully this can help you. Some of the stories can hopefully help you become better. If any of you have any questions, then just drop me a line and I will try and answer them.